Hello and welcome to the Zoho Cliq 6.0 launch, and this is the Developer Platform edition. Now, before I jump into all of the new features that we've launched, let me just set the stage for those who are a little new to Zoho Cliq and what the Developer Platform is all about. Now, as most of you are aware, Cliq is a business communication app, but more than just communication and collaboration, it can also fit in all of your business workflows and processes as well. So, no matter what industry, department, team, or role that you might be part of, we all have certain processes and workflows that we do on a day-to-day basis, right? So let's just take some very common process like say approvals or reviews that you might be managing, or say if you're tasked to onboard the new hires, knowledge transfer for those new hires, things that you do on a recurring basis, customer support, incident management, and just many more in specific to what your role demands, right? Now, again, for these processes and jobs, you might be using several tools or say services you're getting hired for or products that you're paying for. And the issue with all of these off the shelf softwares is that these are not exactly tailor made for your specific need. So these also come with an additional price tag, and again, this results in a lot of context switching and just a whole lot of more distractions for you at the end of the day. So the Clicks platform essentially replaces all of this search and all of this sprawl for that perfect app, for that perfect service that you're on the lookout for, and it gives you the power to build it right inside Click. So any workflow, any processes that you already might have, you can build it right inside Click, right alongside your chat, meetings, calendar. You can also fit in all of these processes inside Click itself. So ultimately, if you use Click to all of its potential, Click should be the only app you must be needing at the end of the day without that additional price tag, without switching 10 to 20 different apps every day, and absolutely no context switching, and it's all bundled inside right one app. Now, this has exactly been our focus for our 6.0 launch, to simplify your work, which means to lessen distractions and also at the same time making you more productive. I believe every business should be building their own apps and softwares that fit your unique needs. Now, the session is specifically designed for developers, but we are more than happy and welcome to have anybody who's inspired to solve any problems that your team or organization is already facing, say any bottlenecks that might crop up, and you're looking to solve that right inside Click without depending on another tool that's an off shelf software that's already made but not exactly tailored for your needs. So let's just dive into what the developer platform is already capable of. So this picture might look a little detailed, but I'll break it down for you, which essentially says how the developer platform works and what all it's capable of. Now let's just go through every block of what the developer platform can do right now. Now, on an interface level, components that are visual, components that you can interact with, are first widgets. So widgets are modular interfaces that display any kind of data or any kind of information that you'd like to present. So you can kind of think of it as the face of your application. Now, bots are conversational assistants. So say you want to send a message on behalf of your app, bots are the way to go. Now, it can also perform any actions that you want. It can, you can participate in a channel using a bot or send messages on behalf of you. Or you can also say bots are, in general, are a very good notification medium. So any event, internal event, and also any external third party notifications that you'd like to be subscribed of right inside Click, you can do that with bots. Now, message actions can convert any plain text message that you get from your colleague, or say somebody has posted it in a channel and you'd like to convert that into any actionable item. For example, you would like to convert your manager's text into a task, or you would like to say convert an attachment that somebody has already shared in your chat as a note in a CRM deal, or say as a in a help desk ticket. So you can convert a normal text message into an item, an actionable item, or any entity that you'd like to convert it into. Now, slash commands can be used to pull any data or say perform any action right inside chat without leaving or going to another application. You can do it right when you're conversing with somebody already. And forms are a very simple way to collect any kind of data. For example, say you would like to have a survey inside your organization from your employees, or say you're an on-field agent, so you would like to collect surveys from your clients or collect data from on-field patients or clients or customers. So anything, any data that you'd like to collect, you can do it with forms. And for all of these components, you need to make them actionable, right? So these all involve workflows, or say the engine that powers these components, or say the computational engine. So first we have deluge handlers. So deluge handlers is where you define what action is to be taken when a user interacts with that component. For example, say a user subscribes to your bot first. So what should happen next? So you can say a welcome message should be sent if the user is a newly subscribed person to the bot, or if it's an already existing user, you can send, welcome back message or something. So every component has a handler, and you can define what happens when the user interacts with that component, say in that context. So you can custom and tailor make it right according to when the user is taking action and what action is being taken, and you can alter your workflows that way. Now, functions are a place where you write custom code and define, say, what happens when you click on a button or when a user submits a form, and any similar interactions you can define it with functions. We also offer comprehensive REST API documentation if you need to interact or handle any internal events inside Cliq itself. And schedulers are there to automate any recurring repetitive tasks that you might have without any manual interaction, or say manual sending it on a recurring basis. You can use schedulers for that. And as a storage solution, we also have Cliq databases if you need to store any data in a secure manner. And to ensure all of these workflows are played out in a very secure, authenticated manner, we have connections. Connections are there to pull in data from any third-party services that you already might be using. And we also have webhook tokens where you can subscribe or say be notified of any, again, third-party events, and either post it right inside Cliq and subscribe to these events so that you're in the know without having to switch applications. Now, in more simpler words, you can think of platform as a playground. So it's a very flexible platform with tools and say building blocks where you can connect and configure them on how you would like to do it exactly. So you can stack them up, you can connect them any way that you want, and so you can tailor make it exactly to what you want with the blocks that we have. So for example, let's say you want to view all of your sales prospects or all of the leads you've generated, all of the customers that you have right inside Cliq. So first thing you might be doing is you would like to create a Cliq widget. So you'd have a view exactly how you'd like to view it. So say on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, you would like to view all of the leads you've generated, all of the customers you have, all of the prospects you've discovered. So for that, you can create a custom view just the way you would like to manage the data. And to store all of this data, you can add a Cliq database. And third, say you already have a CRM tool that you've integrated with. So you can also integrate that as well and bring in that data using connections and webhook tokens. You can bring in that data inside as well. So the beauty of platform is that not only can you build a custom view, not only can you store any data that you want, and not only can you say integrate a tool or embed any view right inside Cliq, is that you can do all of this in combination. So you can tailor make it exactly how you would like to manage and view that information. Now let's just take a step further. So say you want to be notified of when any new lead is generated or when any new prospect is discovered. You'd like to be notified right inside Cliq. So you can easily add a Cliq bot, and that is done for you. Now say you want to view daily, weekly reports of your team's performance, or say you'd like a report all of the customer tickets you're getting. So for that, again, you can just easily add a scheduler, and you can do that on a recurring basis without having to manually forage that data and then organize them and transform them and then post it in a channel every day manually. You can just easily use a scheduler. You can easily use connections and webhook tokens to get that posted for you on a recurring basis without any manual intervention. So again, So with the developer platform, you're not just working with predefined tools that are, not flexible enough for your unique needs. So you're designing workflows that fit in, you know, just as dynamic as how your organization may be and fit in your unique needs. So this is a more impactful way of running your business and even more efficient for your day-to-day workflow so that you can focus more on what is more important. So again, this all of this is completely serverless. So no need to set up a server and no need of any maintenance. So absolutely no maintenance is required. And our goal in Click is to keep adding more functionality to these blocks and also adding more blocks as well, so that you can control, customize, and also expand more according to what's more important to you, and also certain things that you don't have to anymore, so that the platform can take care of that for you. So first up, we have bot calls. So you're likely familiar with what bots can do by now a little bit already. So they can participate in channels, it can send messages on your behalf, deliver any third party or even internal events right inside Click, and so much more that bots can do already. But say when it comes to any critical or emergency notifications that you'd like to deliver to somebody, a text message alone can fall short. So say any important alerts that are to be delivered in a very critical manner, it can easily get buried among the other messages and notifications that you might be already getting. Now, bot calls are automated voice based alerts triggered by bots to ensure timely communication to that specific person in a very critical manner. So, basically, bots can call you when an incident occurs, ensuring that swift communication is taking place and any action that is contextual to that event is taken right then and there, making sure the attention for that is prioritized and given right then. Now let's just take a look at some examples where bot calls might be handy in such situations. Now say you're somebody from the support team, so you must be very well aware of any high priority customer tickets that might pop up, or say service level SLA breaches that might occur, any unresolved tickets that are nearing the due date, or say server outages or any similar mishaps that can occur that need immediate critical attention. Or say you're from the banking industry, so when fraudulent transactions happen, or compliance violations, or any unusual login activity, or where in these cases you have to inform the security team or the account manager of any urgent financial risks that might pop up. In the manufacturing industry, timely alerts for machinery malfunctions, warehouse issues, or production line breakdowns, or any possible safety hazards that can happen, and that has to be critically communicated, and these alerts can literally be life saving when it's delivered at the right time. And when talking about saving lives in the healthcare industry, getting notified of timely emergency patient notifications, or say you've gotten lab reports that show something, some abnormality or any expected changes in the patient vitals. Now these have to be alerted to the right supervisor, to the right doctor or nurse. These require immediate responses as well. So again, the possibilities are quite endless depending on what industry and department or role that you might be part of. So anything spanning from reminders, any critical handy reminders that you'd like to get, or any huge escalations where these bot calls can be very impactful if they're delivered to the right person to the right time. Now let's go through a quick overview of what bot calls are and what they're capable of, and how they can be handy in such situations. First thing is that it can be triggered via an API or a deluge task. So the bot can trigger you right when that incident is occurring, so no manual intervention is required. So say incidents when you cannot anticipate when that incident will occur, you can trigger it manually as well. So either via slash command or a bot menu action, you can do that as well. So in cases where these incidents can be monitored and can be triggered automatically, you can trigger it via an API or using a deluge task. But say things like things that you cannot really predict, you can trigger them manually as well. Now you can also add contextual actions to these calls based on how you'd like to handle this incident right when you get the alert. For example, say you're from the IT industry and a server outage happens. So you're triggering the bot to the concerned network engineer or the concerned developer. First thing they'd like to do is, acknowledge that you're taking care of the incident. Or another thing that they can do is, say when the person is not available during that time, they can delegate it to somebody who's, the second responder in line, or the person who might be available during that time who's more appropriate to handle that incident. Then the third thing that you they can do is you can also escalate to, say a higher authority team or somebody else or some other team who's better suited to handle that incident. So depending on the call, they can also add appropriate action so that, the action is taken right then and there. So from immediate alerts, immediate action can be taken then. Now you can also configure more granular workflows based on how the user interacts with that call. So depending on the user, if say the user is busy or offline, or they aren't reachable, or they are on DND. So depending on the status and how they've interacted with the call, say if they've declined the call. So what do you do next? So depending on the status and the event, you can configure alternative workflows as well. So, for example, say in the same example, a server outage happens and the person who you intended to trigger the call is not available during that time. So, then what you can do is you can say delegate or redirect the call to somebody who is again a second responder in line or another team who can handle that incident right then. So you can have more control and make sure, there's always a backup plan depending on how the person responds to your alert. Now there's more control you can take. You can also loop the message depending on how many times you'd like the message to repeat. You can also retry the call after some time as well. So we will be showing you live in some time, so do stay till the end. Now next up we have the most awaited charts and graphs. So before in Cliq, it was all too rigid. We only had tables and fields which were more suited for other needs. So any long list of data that you'd like to present, tables and fields were more suited. But for all of your quarterly reports, metrics and KPIs that you'd like to track, we're presenting charts and graphs so that you can visualize all of this data and take, decisions much easier and more faster. Now you can also add charts and graphs to both widgets and messages. So in charts, we have three types. You can choose between pie chart, donut, and semi-donut chart. And in graphs, you can customize between a vertical bar graph, a stacked bar graph, and also a trend graph. You can also filter categories using legends. So you can choose which category and that specific data that you'd like to see. You can filter it among legends and you can see that as well. And you can also navigate with the range. So you'd like to see data from a specific range, you can do that as well, and you can easily select and see the entire data in a bird's eye view as well. And with the power to schedule these messages and say push data to widgets using schedulers, you can easily have your daily, weekly, monthly, yearly reports easily on autopilot now, coupled with both schedulers and charts and graphs. Now let's see what's new with schedulers now. So before we had daily, weekly and monthly schedulers, and you can pretty much execute most of the recurring schedules that you'd had. Now we've added more granular scheduling features for you. So first thing is that we've added a yearly recurring schedule as well. And you can also specify the interval. For example, every 10 days, every 6th month, or say every year or every 2 weeks, you can specify the interval now. Now you can also say when it should end as well. So before the only way to stop a scheduler was to disable them. Now you can also define when the scheduler should end. So should it end after n number of occurrences, or should it end after a specific date? Or you can also specify to make it end never as well. We've added more specific details for each specific recurring period. So over to Harsha to see all of these details that we've added live in schedulers, and also all of the other features that we've launched in our 6.2. So yeah, over to Harsha now.
Hello everyone, I'm Harsha, Platform Developer Evangelist for Zoho Cliq. Today I'm excited to showcase the latest features of Cliq Developer Platform 6.0. To make things more relatable, I'll walk you through these features using a real world use case that many developers and businesses encounter frequently. Managing large scale applications comes up with challenges like high traffic, distributed infrastructure, and real time operations, which is often prone to server outages. These outages demand rapid identification and effective communication, which is often handled via dedicated channels or chats so that the relevant developer or network engineer is informed and can take action. However, this approach has limitation. What if the responsible person isn't immediately available? What if the what if they are preoccupied with another incident or the communication is delayed due to human error? This gap often leads to extended downtime and frustrated users. This is where our downtime detector extension, built using Click platform components, steps in. Instead of manually tracking down engineers or relying on chat based communication, the extension streamlines the outage management process using automation and intuitive visualization. The extension comprises an incident management widget with two modules. The first module, Reports and Insights, provides a comprehensive view of the downtime stats for your configured application. With Click Charts and Graphs element for widgets, you can analyze data using vertical bar charts, vertical stack bars, pie charts, donut charts, and a lot more. The interactive feature include data makes data visualization intuitive. For example, hovering over a chart element reveals the exact value of the data point, and you can focus on specific categories by turning off the others in the legend. The trend graph lets you observe downtime patterns date-wise. At the same time, the vertical bar chart is perfect for analyzing the impact of the service. You can also monitor the response time distribution using the donut chart, where hovering highlights the data and displays its value. Also, you have the widget permalink, which you can copy and share across chats and channels to navigate to the widget and make sure the incident management stats are tracked and recorded. The second module, Monitoring and Detection, analyzes incidents that have occurred, helping teams identify patterns and trends over time. For example, a monthly trend graph visualizes incident patterns, allowing teams to identify recurring issues or high impact periods. A recent incident list prioritizes entries by severity, ensuring critical outages are addressed first. This is demonstrated using the Click Widgets field element, which presents key data in a user friendly layout. This module also includes a header button that can trigger an incident. Typically, incidents are triggered by external monitoring applications. However, for demonstration purposes, we will manually trigger it to showcase the actions of a bot call. Let me show you with an example.
Alert. Server outage detected. Immediate attention required to restore critical services. Alert. Server outage detected. Immediate attention required to restore critical services.
When this button is clicked, it automatically initiates a bot call to the available network engineer so that urgent situations receive top priority attention. Once the engineer attends the call, they will hear an automated explanation of the server outage. During the call, the engineer can use action buttons to respond efficiently. Let me show you again.
Alert. Server outage detected. Immediate attention required to restore critical services. Alert. Server outage.
During uh, the call header includes action buttons. The action buttons include acknowledge. The maintenance engineer can click this button to confirm that they have received the alert and they are working on the issue. Delegate. If the engineer is unavailable, they can use the button to assign the task to another engineer. Or if the issue is critical and requires higher level support, clicking this button can escalate the alert to a senior engineer or next level team. There is also another button which is the view incident report, and let me show you with an example.
Alert. Server outage detected. Immediate attention required to restore critical.
So upon clicking the view incident report button, it posts a detailed incident report, helping the team to understand the nature of the outage. Also, we have the trigger backup button systems, which upon clicking automatically triggers backup systems to minimize downtime while resolving the issue. Also, if the engineer is offline or declines the call, you will receive a notification indicating that the case has been reassigned to the next available engineer. Additionally, you can also configure the system to trigger another bot call if the engineer is unavailable. This can be achieved by editing the call handler, which allows you to customize the bot's behavior based on specific call events such as ringing, answering, ending, decline, missed calls, or being busy. Let me show you how to trigger bot calls and how to configure the call handler according to your use case. Navigate to the top right corner of your profile. Under Bots and Tools, click Create Bot. After giving the details and descriptions of the bot, under the channel participation settings, you can enable bot calls for the critical situations. After clicking Save Bot, you can also enable or disable bot calls whenever you want by clicking the Created Bot. You can locate the toggle button with which you can disable or enable the bot calls according to your needs. To trigger a bot call, navigate to the Cliq REST API documentation. Under bots, you have the endpoints to trigger a bot call. Here, you have to give the unique name of the bot which you have created. Furthermore, you also have to provide the list of mandatory parameters with which you are going to trigger a bot call. Under text, you have to give the message that needs to be dictated during the call. Under the user IDs attribute, you have to give the list of IDs for whom the bot call needs to be triggered. You can either give the ID or you can also give the email as well. You have two numerical parameters, that is retry and loop. Retry, if the user misses the call, the bot calls will be triggered based on the retry count. Under loop, you can specify the number of times the messages will be dictated during the bot call. Under actions, you can provide the list of action buttons based on the use case. You can also specify icons based on the functionality of the action button. You can locate the icons under core resources. Navigate to icons. You have a list of intuitive icons which you can copy and paste the icon ID in the actions attribute based on your use case. Now let us see how we have configured the bot call handler. Navigate to handlers. In call handler consists of two attributes. One is data and the other thing operation. So this operation attribute includes the specific call event, whether the user has attended the call, whether the user has ended the call, or whether the user has missed the call, or if he is offline or if he is being busy. Based on the status and the specific call events, you can configure the bot's behavior in the bot call handler. Currently, if the network engineer has declined, missed, or if he is offline or if he is busy, we will be posting a message card so that the issue will be assigned to another network engineer. To manage the bot calls, navigate to history. Under direct calls, you can view your call logs. Here you can track, review and manage all bot calls. You can also access the detailed transcript and call recordings for further analysis. Make use of the action buttons to perform specific tasks related to each call. After the bot call concludes, you can also access the call transcript and call recording in the bot's chat as well. The final component is the scheduler that automates the posting of weekly reports every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. These reports include essential metrics such as total messages sent, active users, server uptime, message delivery time and concurrent users. Additionally, a vertical graph provides a service impact analysis by module like API, file sharing, etc., along with the key highlights of the week, which include the incident response, user growth and uptime data. This was achieved with the help of a customized recurring period set in the scheduler. Let me show you how we have configured the scheduler for our use case. Under bots and tools, the scheduler. We have the weekly downtime update scheduler, which compiles and updates server outage data and also automatically reports the key metrics to the stakeholders. Here, we have set the customized recurring period, where the scheduler executes every week on Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m. This was achieved with the help of customized recurring period. You can set recurring period on your tailored needs, such as you can also can specify the number of executions uh, to execute every 1 week or 2 week. You can also configure the executions that can be executed on specific days, such as Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. You can specify the time, and you can also specify the time zone. Under the monthly configuration, you can choose the specific dates on which the scheduler needs to be executed. You can choose the specific week, such as second week or third week. Under days of month, you can choose whether to post the schedulers updates before the first day of the month or before last day of the month, or you can also configure the scheduler to be posted on last day of the month as well. Under yearly, you can choose specific month and specific month's date, and you can also uh, choose the scheduler to be executed on specific date on months such as December 1st and first Monday or Tuesday, etc. You can also specify the end attribute of a scheduler. By default, the value for the end attribute is never, which means the scheduler will be executed endlessly. If you want to stop the executions of the scheduler after specific occurrences, you can choose the after param. If you want to stop the executions of the scheduler after a specific date, choose on. Here you can specify the date so that the executions of the scheduler will be stopped until this date. With the Cliq Developer Platform 6.0, you are not just detecting and tracking incidents, you are empowering your team to act decisively and minimize impact. We are excited to see how you leverage these features to tackle real world challenges.
Thank you, Harsha, and hope all of you are inspired to use these in your workflows right away. I would also like to highlight that we have new additions in our Click Marketplace to add more to your integration stack, from Google Calendar, Linear, RTI, and more other native extensions as well. And all of this is built completely inside the Click platform in a completely serverless environment. So do check them out, and you can get started away right by installing them. Now, yeah, so this summarizes all of the features that we've launched in our 6.0, and we hope to see these tools integrated into your day-to-day workflows and processes right inside Click. And in case you're inspired to build your own tools, your own workflows, and you need any help, or if you've run into any bottlenecks, do feel free to reach us out at support@zohocliq.com, and we'll be happy to collaborate and make great tools for your organization and for your teams. So, yeah, so thank you for attending, everybody, and hope you have a great day.